enough. RiuT chose the wrong civ. Let's do TaToH again. And this map, yeah, it's not Dry Arabia. It is, this time it's Knolls, which is a pretty interesting map, a very challenging map. And once again, we got RiuT versus TaToH for game number 1 in the Empire Collective Cup Platinum League for round number 2. Up to the north of the map in the blue, we've got TaToH, and down to the very south in the red, we have RiuT, two very, very strong players, two players who are probably going to give us a very nice set of games here. Now, I did just turn team colors on because if you look at the minimap, you cannot see RiuT in the orange here. The map just, you can't see that. So I'm just making team colors here, or putting team colors on so it's easier to see. I think red and blue, definitely a lot easier to see on this map. So hopefully you guys don't mind too much. I think it makes sense in this situation. So these guys have up to 5 minutes to call a restart if they want to do that. To be honest with you, RiuT might consider it because his wood is... Actually, no, sorry, he has got a wood on the right side, so we shouldn't see a restart here, really. I think both players' maps look very fine, to say the least. Very fine. The gold for RiuT's not great, but, you know, you can deal with that. If anything, actually, it does look like the second gold for RiuT is, no, it's at the back there. Okay, so yeah, both players' maps are just fine. I don't think we'll see a restart, but yeah, this game should be really nice. Obviously, we've got TaToH, who is a bit of a beast, and I'm going to now start calling him TaToH again. So TaToH, a little bit of a beast. Been playing on so much recently, been doing so well recently, and of course we have RiuT as well, who is obviously member of Team Tyrant, and a very, very strong player. He is, I think, in my opinion, he's probably number 2 in the Platinum League. But that doesn't mean that he's going to stomp all over TaToH here, or TaToH here. He is going to be able to... TaToH will be able to give RiuT a good fight. And like I said just before this stream started, if you guys remember in round 1, RiuT went 3-0 versus 8th Wonder, right? And everybody knows that the Viper is stronger than RiuT. Pretty much conclusively, he is stronger than RiuT. You could argue about that, but I think most people would agree Viper is stronger than RiuT. So RiuT goes 3-0 against 8th Wonder, and then 8th Wonder goes 2-2 versus the Viper. So obviously, players can have good days, they can have bad days, and the underdog can do well. The underdog can perform unexpectedly, and as good as RiuT is, and as strong as RiuT is, I think TaToH here could actually pull a game, might even pull a draw, and if he is very lucky, and if everything works his way today, if all the stars align, then TaToH could even get a victory as well. Upsets can happen, and I'm gonna purposely swap between TaToH and TaToH this entire game just to annoy you. That's right. So we'll have a look at the players' maps then and see exactly what's going down here. This map is Knolls, and it's an interesting map because the gold on this map is really quite common. There's a lot of gold, but it's really spread out. So having good map control is really important. And I think it's a difficult thing to have good map control on this map because it's so hard to wall. There's just very small clumps of trees all over the place, but it's typically very open. And when you combine that with some very small gold spots that are just scattered around, taking the gold in the late game can become a real problem. Now, both of these guys, as playing as the Celts, we expect the game to go to, at the very least, the Castle Age, because it's likely we'll see a drush into a fast castle. If not, then in the Castle Age, in the Feudal Age, generally speaking, both players are going to be evenly enough matched that it's going to make it to Castle, and then at that point, you're looking at seeing mangonels and such come out. But given that they're both Celts, I think it's more likely to go to the late game than other situations, to be honest with you. I think both players are more than capable of fending off a Castle Age aggression. But like I say, this map does involve a lot of map control, and I think it's going to favor the faster player and the more aggressive player. And in my opinion, that player is RiuT. RiuT is the king of speed. He is incredibly fast. He does not mess around. If you ever watch RiuT stream, you just see his 8 PM. He's got eyes on all parts of the map at all times. And because of that, I feel like TaToH is maybe at a little bit of a disadvantage, but he is definitely going to put up a great fight here, and this is a great start for him as well. Not a huge deal for RiuT, since this house being delayed is not going to cause him to be population blocked, but putting a little bit of health off of that villager there, getting out, and just basically causing some idle time, causing this villager to lose a bit of health, maybe making for some easier pickings later on. And of course, with that, he's scouted this drush as well. He's seen this drush coming in from RiuT. But with TaToH, what is TaToH doing? Well, TaToH is... this is going to be really difficult to alternate every time I say it. TaToH here is... going for a fast feudal into man-at-arms. I really like this strategy. I feel like that is a very solid strategy, and I feel like on this map as well, it could really pay off because, like I say, it's very open, and RiuT's woodline here is very exposed as well on the back, so his wood situation is not great. The problem is for TaToH here is he's lost a little bit of health on these man-at-arms, these militia already, and he might decide to actually not go for the man-at-arms upgrade. But no, he is committed to it, and TaToH is going to get that man-at-arms upgrade in, and coming forwards with 3 villagers at the same time as well. This is going to get pretty aggressive for him. And what was I literally just saying? I think RiuT is that more aggressive player? Well, no, TaToH here showing that he is going to be very aggressive this game with the forward archery range coming in. But obviously RiuT has seen this. He sees it coming. He's scouted it out. He's got a very good idea of what's heading his way, and he is going to be trying to prepare, I think. He's taking a little bit more gold now, but he's not actually built a mining camp over here. These villagers walking back and forth between the TC and the gold mile, walking absolutely miles, trying to get 50 gold for what I can only assume to be man-at-arms himself. But again, I think I'm wrong on that. I think if he was going to do man-at-arms, he'd be making militia now. So, no, he's not going to do that, sorry. What he will do is probably throw down an archery range or 2. And in fact, just the one. There's the 2. Okay. And meanwhile, though, TaToH here coming into the wood line. He's going to find some villagers to harass. These guys, unfortunately, do have loom now. And they're not going to be so easy to take down. This villager, going to get pretty low on health, but will survive for the time being. And TaToH on this right side looks like he's going to be posturing to build a tower on this wood line, which is going to be huge. And if he can pull that off, that's going to basically deny wood from RiuT here, and that would be insane. I think he's realized just how strong this map is for an aggressive play, and that tower is coming right up, right there, and we're either going to see RiuT now attacking the tower, or deleting to get away. So TaToH coming in with the tower, going to really deny that wood, really pressure that wood, and he's following through with archers as well. Back at home though, 3 villagers on the gold, so just single archery range production. That's good enough for now, and bringing in the occasional man-at-arms as well to hit the wood line at the south. This is looking great. And what is RiuT to do? All he can do at the moment is make skirms, and he has no real wood income at the moment, and that's one of the biggest problems he's going to face in the next few minutes of this game. Wood. Without wood, you can do nothing. Wood is the building blocks of this game. Without wood, you can't build farms and get food. Without wood, you can't build buildings to make your units. Without wood, you can't build houses to support your units. Without wood, you can't even build the units. Like, it is so important. And it looks like RiuT there with a bit of miss micro. His unit's getting a little stuck in between those man-at-arms. And even with having these skirms in play, I think TaToH will probably still opt to make archers anyway, which he is doing, just because they're easier to kill villagers with. Also, continuing to add in the man-at-arms. I love that play from him. And RiuT now forced to take the straggler trees on the front to try and get enough wood to build a new lumber camp. In fact, never mind. He has built that new lumber camp on the left side, but RiuT's out of position here. This skirmisher should be easy pickings, and TaToH can get into this wood line and start harassing these villas. Maybe gonna find a villager or 2. This aggressive play is fantastic. Tyrant TaToH right here, I feel. Tyrant 8th Wonder as well while we're at it. So really great play from him so far, and it's looking like RiuT is in a bad way at the moment. Very little food. He's barely keeping villager production going, and if he was to make military now, his villager production would all but stop. So he's struggling. He's being spread very thinly, and TaToH is just taking full control of the situation, bringing in the hunters on the left side, the hunters on the left side, and only just starting to seed farms as well. Actually, no, I take that back. These are just very glitched. So he seeded these a while back. But this is actually a really, really well done build order here. He's actually got just the right amount of resources for everything he needs. He is very, very on point here. Unfortunately, as I say that, his man at arms kind of standing still there, getting blasted by skirms. Not the wisest thing I've ever seen. Also, from Mr. RiuT here, we do have fletching done, so it's going to help his skirms fighting on this hill. But TaToH, not messing around, going to come in and get his villagers stuck in there as well, knowing that these skirms can do very little. It is but a flesh wound, says this villager as he ambles away with 7 javelins. In fact, make that 18 javelins sticking out of his back. But he doesn't care. He's fine. He can build a house anyway. Doesn't matter to him. It is just a flesh wound indeed. Padded archer armor coming in for both players now. Obviously, a good research to do when you've got food and no gold. But RiuT here, he could take gold. He could take gold. But taking gold is not necessarily the right thing to do. RiuT's priority is to defend from the onslaught of TaToH here. And while he's at it, maybe kill a couple of villagers as well. Miraculously, this guy escapes with 38 javelins sticking out of his back and his legs and one through his heart. But he's fine. He can still walk. He's okay. Yeah. Pardon me. Excuse me, guys. So TaToH here, 3 villagers in the lead at the moment. No surprise, considering RiuT had a little bit of TC idle time there. Apologies for the coughs as well. I don't know what happened. I kind of inhaled and a bit of saliva decided to just slip down into my lung. Not the most pleasant of experiences. But RiuT on the counter-attack with his 20, I believe that's, yeah, 20 skirms here. That's enough to kill a villager in 2 volleys. 40 whole javelins. It's fine. But yeah, he needs to come over here and find some counterattacks. Now, RiuT is by no means out of this game. Like, he is defended for now. He's managed to keep most of his villagers alive. And he's now counterattacking in a very good manner. He's going to kill another villager here. That's 2 down, evening the villager count quite significantly. RiuT, though, is doing wheelbarrow, and I believe that TaToH did wheelbarrow a little earlier on, and TaToH's doing a great job of... What is this? Doing a great job of just pressuring RiuT off of the wood lines, and I think that's the biggest thing that TaToH... Yeah, I'm kind of just combining TaToH and TaToH together now. TaToH. That's like the best thing he's done so far. Just basically preventing these wood lines from RiuT from having them. And he's going to force this tower down here by attacking it with villagers. Awesome stuff. Hello there, MBL. He just donated $5. More CSGO skins. Well, I take that as a subtle hint that you think I'm not a very good player and I need more skins to improve, but thank you. Anyway, much appreciated. And good job on your games earlier against Yellow as well. Not to sound rude, but unexpected win for you there, and that was awesome. So thank you very much, man. Yeah, RiuT then, just sitting in here with these skirms. And TaToH seems not to want to bother with this. He doesn't even seem to care. He's got his own army of skirms inside of RiuT's base. And this is kind of like, this game is a little blast from the past in a sense. Like, this reminds me of the old school games when you'd see like a 40-minute feudal war. All I hope for now is that someone puts down a stable and starts making scouts, because that would be insane. No kidding. Scouts here would be insane, but getting the food for that might be tough, and players will probably prefer to go to the Castle Age rather than spend all that food, that precious food, on Scout Cavalry. Now still, even with this raiding party from RiuT here inside of TaToH's economy, RiuT is losing out in the villager count here. He is getting blasted on this wood line. And this is the thing. For RiuT, he has to send these villagers away from the TC. He has to send them out to take wood on these lumber camps. Whereas TaToH, he's got it all in the back. He's got it all in the back. Everything. You'd be surprised how much he can fit in the back. But they're all back here. And RiuT's unable to get to that, really. I mean, he could get through there. But he seems unwilling. And TaToH has his villagers very safe. Whereas RiuT, well, they're out. They're out in the open. And they are getting javelined into next week. It's not looking good. Looking good for RiuT's vills there. So, in the last couple of minutes, TaToH has managed to... get up to 45 vills, which is pretty significant when he's 15 ahead of RiuT here. And even though RiuT is closer to the castle age, I'm starting to think that that's perhaps not the right way to go about this. What is TaToH spending his resources on if he has all these extra vills? Well, maybe he has more idle time, and that is true. RiuT, 34 minutes of idle time, and TaToH with 52 minutes. So there is more idle time for TaToH there, but you cannot deny that 15 and plus extra villagers is going to add up very quickly. But RiuT, doing the ever more, well, the recently popularized, I suppose, in the last couple of years, sort of faster castle time, rather than just facing this feudal army head on. Maybe a big mistake, though, because he's unable to wall up. These villagers are pushed away from the gold, and they're going down all over the place, whilst RiuT just does not seem to be willing to try and come back to the edge of the map and try and hit TaToH's economy. He's just denying the farms, and whilst that's actually working very well because these farms are now not producing a lot of food and TaToH's struggling to get the food income, RiuT is not catching up in villager count. I don't know, maybe the castle age here is going to be the saving grace that he needs, and he's going to hit castle very soon since he did wheelbarrow not too long ago, and TaToH only just doing wheelbarrow now, so I was wrong. Wheelbarrow coming in very late for TaToH. He should have done that probably 10 minutes ago, actually. By the way, thank you very much, Nediel, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Let's see those Wololo hypes in the... Come on, what is this? Not a single Wololo hype in the chat? You let me down, guys. There's 230 something of you, and not a single Wololo hype. Hannah to the rescue. There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much, by the way, as well for subscribing, obviously. Much appreciated. But yeah, I think everyone's kind of got this game on full screen right now because it's pretty cool. This is a good play here by TaToH, though. I think this is a good play. He's lifted off the pressure temporarily, and he's coming in to intercept this army. Or what I said in... I'll tell you this story in a second. He's gonna kill a bunch of these dudes, and this is good because if he can block them in and get inside that TC and head them off, then he's gonna be able to do a lot more damage to this army. Oh, that was a really good play by TaToH there. TaToH is on the ball. He's actually killing it right now. He's doing a really good job. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So yeah, when I was younger, I was doing engineering at school. Like in secondary school. I think I was about 14 at the time. We had like an engineering class, and the teacher was doing a diagram on the board, and it showed two shapes crossing each other. Sort of like going through each other, and he said, so what's the technical term for when two things cross each other? And I put my hand up and I said, oh, it's contraception. When they cross each other, they contracept each other. Felt like a bloody idiot. Obviously in a class of 14-year-olds that got quite a few laughs. Obviously the word I was looking for was intercept, and I almost said contracept again just then. Reminded me of that. Oh, the embarrassment. That was fine. Kids of that age are quick to forget. Anyway, back at RiuT Space, he is taking this wood now, but he has been forced to build a couple of towers on this wood line. He's been forced to build a tower over here, so that's a lot of resources spent on stone that he perhaps doesn't really want to be spending. Now, again, unfortunately, this map is really difficult to play because of the hills. It makes it really difficult to build, or I should say the knolls, really. That's, I guess, what they are. But it means it's kind of difficult to place your TCs, and RiuT's been forced to put this TC down in a horrendous position, making it very difficult to defend. But he is doing a siege workshop now, and that is the best play he could make at the moment, attempting to bring out a mangonel in order to contracept these archers and skirmishers that are coming towards him at the moment. But yeah, it looks like TaToH here might find a couple more villagers, but it will be harder now this tower's up and around, and with this third TC on the right side, RiuT should secure some more wood as well, so that's good. But TaToH, like you pointed out in the chat there, Munchie, whoa, okay, let me try this. Munchie, I mean Munich Marion Mon, that's... He's got the munchies from Munich, yeah, I don't know how to read. This is a problem. I shouldn't tell you all these stories about how I fail at everything in life, but just giving you fuel, really. The score lead. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. The score lead. 1,200 points for TaToH at the moment. And TaToH here sticking up to a second TC and maybe a third to come. But I feel like he's going to be more aggressive than that. A siege workshop on the front. 2 stables. Double knight production. And you may as well say goodbye right now, RiuT. Because those knights will take down those mangonels very quickly. TaToH here will probably go for elite skirmisher very soon. He's already got crossbow, and he's doing all the upgrades at the moment. He's getting all the upgrades. You guys are getting the wrong impression. Talking about munchies, coughing. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. But yes, obviously, looking for elite skirm, I imagine, fairly soon. He's already got bodkin arrows, so additional damage, and rams coming in as well. So RiuT is holding on for dear life. He is clinging onto these knolls for dear life, but he's seen the knights. He knows it's over, and it is G to the G. RiuT losing out on game 1, and TaToH there going to be feeling pretty good about himself, getting a fantastic victory in the first game, playing super aggressively, and maybe this is the secret. Maybe this is the secret to taking down the tyrants. Both the Viper and RiuT now losing out to 8th Wonder and TaToH respectively, to sheer all-out unadulterated aggression. It works, and I think TaToH played a fantastic game. RiuT did all he could to defend, and you could argue that RiuT's map was certainly not very good. The forward wood certainly caught him out, but TaToH just exploited that. TaToH could have sat back, but he didn't. He got aggressive, he exploited the map, and that's what you got to do. So there you have it. Game number 1. Awesome game to start this set off, and TaToH gonna get his first point on the board there. We're gonna come back now, and game 2 is gonna be coming your way in just a moment. RiuT to choose his home map. Now, I can't remember what RiuT chose as his home map versus 8th Wonder. I believe he chose